This is Sundays at Tiffany's by James Patterson, and this is the quote. She took my hand, squeezed it. Thank God, Jane, sweetie, you're not the least bit like me. You're just as smart, so you'll be even more successful. But you'll always be kind. You'll be Jane. You'll do things your own way. And in hearing this admission brought me tears, the ones I had been holding back for years. I thought I was such a disappointment because I wasn't like you. Oh, Jane, sweetie, no, 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 never. You want to know something? What? You're the only person I ever loved. The only one. You are the love of my life. The love of her life. My eyes hurt from the tears, my throat and chest ached, but my mother looked like a picture of peace. And then I thought, so this is it. After so many years of yelling at stagehands, screaming at secretaries, fighting with investors, after decades of ordering around maids and chauffeurs and caterers and decorators, after the acres of designer shoes and the $1,000 dresses, after all the trips to Paris, London, Bangkok, and Cairo, this is how it ends. A frail woman on a hospital bed, my mother and me, together at last. Come closer, Jane, sweetie, I said. I won't bite. Probably not, she added with a weak grin. I moved so close that our faces were almost touching. I have a favor to ask. Of course, Mom. What do you want? For God's sake, make sure they bury me in that new Galliano brocade dress. Nothing black. I look terrible in black. I couldn't help smiling. She was Vivian to the end. So true to herself. The Galliano, I said. Check. One more thing, Jane. Yes? Don't you wear black to the funeral either. Black makes most people look thinner, but for some reason it makes you look a little top-heavy. My smile broadened. Okay, Mom, I'll wear pink. I have just the dress. You're funny, my mother said. You always wear pink at a funeral. Please do. I looked over at Michael, and he was smiling now, too. My mother closed her eyes, and her body shivered. I hated the idea of losing her, my mom. Finally, she was my mom. Michael stood and walked to the other side of the bed. I held one hand, Michael held the other. That was it, wasn't it? It was all happening too fast, and so suddenly. I leaned in and kissed Vivian on her soft, smooth cheek. She smiled and opened her eyes again. A slight nod of her head told me she wanted me closer again. Jane, the only thing I hate about dying is saying goodbye to you. I love you so much, Jane. Goodbye, Jane, sweetie. Goodbye, Mom. I love you so much, too. And then my mother gave me one last kiss to remember her by always. This quote is important to the book because it shows the theme of letting go and to not take people around you for granted. Jane didn't really have a mom that cared about how she acted, and Jane's mom kind of took Jane for granted. And Jane needed to learn how to let go of her mom's controlling ways and to move on and be her own person.